Welcome to the Go Slow to Go Fast Lifestyle Podcast, where we explore the art of intentional living. Whether you're juggling life as a working parent, leading in your profession, or simply seeking more meaning in your everyday, this space is for you. I'm your host, Kendra Chapman, and today we're tackling something we all struggle with, the comparison game. So the comparison game, it's so easy to scroll through social media and look around at colleagues or friends and feel like we're falling short. But here's the truth. Your journey is uniquely yours, and confidence starts when you embrace that truth. Today, I'll be sharing 3 powerful ways to stop comparing yourself to others and start stepping into your confidence every single day. Plus, I'll highlight a practical mindset which will shift to help you bring more peace and self-assurance into your daily routine. So if you're ready to stop playing the comparison game and start showing up as the best version of yourself, grab a cozy drink, join me on the couch or in your car or while you're working out, and let's dive in. So in segment 1, I'm going to continue talking about what's bringing me hygge, what's making me feel comfy and cozy this week. So I'm wearing overalls today because it's spring break in my school system. Although I'm a principal, I work a lot during those off times when kids are out. But I have 2 days where central office is out, so I'm definitely embracing those days off. And I'm taking my own children on a field trip to go judge livestock. We're driving about an hour and a half away from where we live to a livestock arena where the 4-H group is teaching children how to judge livestock. So they get to judge cows and sheep and pigs. And goats. So they're going to judge 4 different types of animals based on the different criteria that they've been working on at their 4-H meetings. So it's going to be exciting to see how that works out and see if I have any future farmers in the family. I come from a long line of farmers, but we haven't really had any livestock that we've been responsible for on our farm. We lease the land to a neighbor who has cattle on our land right now. So it's nice to see that the boys are taking an interest in getting to understand and learn about taking care of animals, large animals. I've always been a fan of James Herriot, the show that was popular on BBC in the 70s, and I grew up watching that, but now I know there's a new version. I haven't really watched it because I had a connection to the characters from the original version of the show because Siegfried was one of my favorite characters. So I get to wake up and hang out with my kids today. So that's what's bringing me hygge today. I get to wake up and be with my kids today. So sometimes, some days I've got to really walk myself through that a little bit better. I'm not perfect. I have moments where I am in my own thoughts and want to wallow in my own issues and my own problems, and I don't want to see the bigger picture. Then I usually bring myself back to the fact that I need to be grateful because there's lots of other people out there in the world who are in a worse spot than me. I get to wake up healthy. I get to go to work and get paid to help people, which is what I've always wanted to do. And I get to be a mom and a partner to somebody who makes me better every day. Not everybody in the world can say they get to do that. So I need to be grateful for that. So you get the picture. When you start framing things in this way, your mindset shifts. And if you've never tried a gratitude journal, I encourage you to try it out. And you don't have to necessarily write it down. You could just think of 3 things that you're grateful for each morning when you wake up. And it could be literally something about your physical being, like your body. It could be something about your feelings about the day. And it could be something about, what you get to do during that day. Find joy. Find one thing that you can be positive about in your day. And so that's 3 things right there. So try it out. And the more you start doing it, the more you're going to realize I could keep going on this list. And you realize you're really more grateful about the things that are free in life, that do take time to cultivate and nurture. But those are the people and the things and the experiences that you're going to value the most because they're going to give you so much in return. If you've never tried a gratitude journal, I encourage you to try. Give it a shot this week. And it's a great way to start your day with confidence and positivity. So in segment 2, I'm going to talk about my Huga highlight, 3 ways to stop comparing and build confidence. So I'm exploring the principles of a slow living experience, and overcoming the comparison game is part of that. Just really getting out of that comparison trap, because it can lead to more intentional, fulfilling feelings around your life. I've found several insightful articles that delve into these topics. So I'm going to talk about 6 of them. 1, life's enough. Stop comparing yourself to others. Right? This is an article by Zen Habits. It discusses how to become aware of comparison triggers and shift your focus to personal blessings, fostering contentment. And that's by Zen Habits. So if you want to look them up, life's enough. Stop comparing yourself to others. It just talks more about thinking about what you're grateful for. And the second article, Comparison, It's a Losing Game. This is from Slow Your Home, and it emphasizes the dangers of comparison and the importance of making decisions based on personal values rather than assumptions about others, right? Because, social media, if you think about it, people are showing their best self on social media, and they're not showing all sides of themselves. I don't have a perfect day every day. I don't have many moments where I feel like I could get on social media and post, and I've really been having to work on that. In the last couple of weeks, I've tried to post more often and forget about what I look like and forget about what I'm going to say. I can put stuff out into the world that's not perfectly perfect. I'm having to work through that, but I'm starting to let go, and it's more freeing. I think about how there are so many people out there putting a certain side of them out on social media, or when they come to a function that maybe you meet up with them once a month and you see them and you think their life's perfect. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what their home life is like. You don't know what they're feeling every day. And so some people just put on a really brave face because they don't want other people to see that they're struggling, or they don't know how to confide in people or let people in. So there's lots of reasons why people are going through what they're going through in silence. And so I think the more we can talk about it, the more we can put it out there that we need to share that the struggle is real, and that we all have moments where we doubt ourselves. We all have moments where we complain. We all have moments where we shift and we figure out, oh, I can do this. There are ways, you rally around yourself and you talk to others and they lift you up. And when you find that group of people that really bring out the positive in you, that's amazing. Keep it going. I would say that's a great way to shift, is surround yourself with people who make you feel better and bring only positive intention and positive thoughts. And that has been one of my mantras, one of my prayers in my meditation practice that I have written down and said quite often is, please surround me with people who have my best and highest interest in mind and are doing things to support me that I don't even know, and have only my best interest in mind and are going to be positive. So you can attract negative people and you can attract positive people. So why not attract positive people? Or why not attract positive experiences? I think you can really change that and attract more of the positive in your life. So that is part of that law of attraction that we've heard about for the past 20 plus years. I play a little game with myself where I write down what I want to invite in for the week. I try to do this on Sundays. Sometimes it happens on a Monday morning, but I write down 3 things that I want to focus on for the week. And then I write down ways that I can make that happen. So I chunk it out and try to map it out. And when I do that, I also think, please surround me with people that are going to help me make sure these things happen. Please surround me with only experiences in my work that are joyful. Please ensure that my school community is safe. Please ensure that my family is safe. So I go through this whole thing where I really just try to build out this positive, safe, supportive experience. And then I reflect later, at the end of the week to see how many of those things happened, or what other surprises came true or came up that I realized that people really are doing what they can to help me because I've invited it in, and two, I've adjusted my mindset to be more positive. And I think when you're more positive, people want to be around you. More positive people want to be around you. When you're negative, then you're attracting those negative Nellies that just want to stop and complain and bring you. There's also an article on how to stop comparing yourself to others in Psychology Today, which offers practical tips such as identifying and avoiding triggers to help break free from the comparison cycle. And this is just really thinking about ways to avoid the triggers, the things that you know are going to set you off. If there are things that you can do to surround yourself with positive people and avoid the things that trigger you, why not? The fourth article, How I Learned to Stop Comparing Myself to Others. This is from Healthline. It shares a personal journey and strategies for recognizing one's unique value, moving away from detrimental comparisons. And I think for me, it's really, I need to stay off social media and looking at all these people who are doing, things that I'm doing or trying to do that are similar and not worrying about it, because I think, that's coming from a place of lack. That's coming from a place of not having enough. And there's enough to go around for everybody. And one, we're born in this body that we have, and we can do what we can to enhance it if we want to look different. I've recently, just yesterday, darkened my hair because I had a lot of dark hair coming in, and I just thought, why fight it? Why don't I just embrace my new dark hair color that's been coming in for the last few years instead of trying to cover it up with blonde? And so I'm embracing my natural color, and this is new for me, and I'm like, why not? But I've learned to stop comparing myself to others. There are times when I still do, but the more I can revisit that thinking, the better for me. Number 5, breaking free from the comparison trap. Why it's time to embrace your own path. This was a LinkedIn article that provides valuable perspective and practical advice for embracing slow living. And, it just makes me think about recently. And then I found a website when I was first figuring out what kind of podcast I wanted to create, what my message was going to be. And I was looking into this and working with one of my coaching friends, Delia Racines. She was really helpful and really pushing me out of my comfort zone and getting me to think about what my online message was going to be like in social media, because I really didn't do much in social media. Didn't feel comfortable in Instagram. So I've definitely been working on that. But I started researching other thought leaders, other people out on the internet that were talking about going slow to go fast. And I didn't find a lot, but I did find one article on going slow to go fast, or at least this concept of slow living by Kyle Kowalski. And I thought, well, that's cool. And it's definitely kind of the mindset of what I'm thinking, but I want to make it a podcast. I don't want to write articles. I don't really feel like blogging right now. I don't want to write a book, but I could use this podcast to create content, and then maybe one day I'd write a book. But for now, I felt like I needed to use the podcast to do a lot of research and hone in on what I wanted to speak about and really just dive deep into research, because I'm a lifelong learner. I like to learn about different concepts and then also teach. And so I thought podcasting would be the great, space for me to do that. And I didn't, at first I thought, oh, if there's going to be a lot of people out on the internet who talk about going slow to go fast, which is a Peter Senge term, I've taken his idea and just applied it to what my experience has been like and created a podcast on it. But it's not a new idea. But it's okay, because there are other people that are going to be out in the world that might do similar things. If you want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to write, or you want to speak, or you want to create something, and then you feel like, oh, somebody else is already doing it, it's okay, because you're going to put your own personal spin on it. You're going to be different than anybody else because it's about you and what you bring to the table. And so while sometimes I get a little worried about, I don't want anybody to think I'm plagiarizing them, because I went back to actually look up basically the origin or the history behind the phrase of keeping up with the Joneses, which goes along with this theme today of the comparison game. And keeping up with the Joneses, when I researched it, I remembered watching like a reality show several years ago that took place in Savannah, Georgia. And one of the people on the show said, Keeping Up with the Joneses is based on one of the first families in Savannah, and we have a road named after them. I'm always interested in history. I love Savannah and I love Charleston. So that just stayed with me. And then when I searched it the other day, does this Keeping Up with the Joneses have anything to do with Savannah, Georgia? Who did I come up on is Kyle Kowalski, and he had actually um, written an article on the 5 origin stories of keeping up with the Joneses. So I started looking at this article, and then I started looking at his website, which looked like it had been updated since the last time I had come across him in the fall of 2023. So he may have just updated his website, but it is comprehensive. It is a deep dive on slow living, having that intentional lifestyle. And I thought, wow, we're really on the same wavelength on a lot of things. And then I realized he actually, when I was researching more on his website, he's been on several podcasts as a guest. And he's been talking about this and researching this for a good 10 years. And so at first I thought, oh gosh, he's going to think I've been plagiarizing him. But, I think if anything, he would be excited to hear that I've been looking on his website, that I'm talking about him on my podcast. I'm definitely going to put his information in the show notes, and I'm going to reach out to him and let him know. Oh, by the way, I've been doing some research and I came across your website for the second time, and I've been doing a deep dive. So thank you for all the research you've been doing. We definitely have a lot in common, as I've been listening to his backstory on some of the podcasts he's been on. So that's fascinating. And maybe one day I'll interview him. Never know, or collaborate with him. So I could have easily gone down the road of feeling like I needed to compare my work and my experience and my podcast to what Kyle Kowalski's doing and think that, I'm never going to be as good as him. Well, I'm not going to be like him. I'm just going to add to the conversation. I'm going to use his research to continue my thinking and go deeper. And I think that's what, based on what I've heard in podcast interviews and read online, I think that's what he would want. I think that's why he's doing this work, but it's all for us to go deeper and to reflect and think about a way of slowing down and having more of an intentional life. And to do that, I think this is one of the ways we have to stop comparing ourselves to others and not have so much self doubt. And when it comes up, because it will, we just need to rethink and shift. We just need to pause and think about what our voice brings to the world, what we bring to the world, and how we can make the world a better place. So let's talk about 3 intentional ways to step out of the comparison trap and into more confidence. So shifting your focus to progress over perfection, instead of measuring yourself against someone else's highlight reel, right? Start tracking your own personal growth. So if you haven't been doing any kind of journaling, this would be a great way to do that. You could start writing down what you accomplished in the last year, or what you've accomplished in the last month, and even in this past week, and start thinking about all the things that you have accomplished. So then you can start setting some goals for what you want to accomplish in the future. Because confidence builds when you acknowledge the small wins that are uniquely yours. So for me, I've really been trying to focus on losing weight and being more healthy. And I've lost 30 pounds, which is huge for me because it definitely took a toll on my body, and I didn't have the energy to spend time with my kids, and I just didn't have the energy at work, and I could feel it, and my clothes were starting to not fit. So there were a lot of reasons why I needed to lose weight. And so I was able to do that. Now it's going to continue to be a thing because I'm 50. I have to really change the way I eat, have to change my lifestyle around food and my mindset around food. So that's just one example. I got to focus on the small wins. And that didn't happen overnight. I've really been struggling with that for about a year now. So I'm glad I was able to hit that milestone of losing that first 5 pounds and then 10 pounds, and I keep tracking it. And so now I'm at my goal weight, and now I just need to keep it there. And so that's going to be the next step of maintaining my weight. Number 2, curate your social media and mental space. If certain accounts, conversations, or environments make you feel less than, it might be time to hit the unfollow button, or at least take a break. Be intentional about what you consume. So nobody says that you have to be on social media or look at certain things. So like me, I'm not really watching reality TV anymore. It just makes me feel yucky. I used to watch it, and I would watch several reality shows every night of the week. And I would record them and I would look forward to them. And it would just, in my mind, I was justifying the fact that I enjoyed watching someone else act like a fool and be crazy because I just, I was pretty calm in my life. And so I just liked a little drama and just wanted to watch how other people fall apart. But now when I watch it, it just makes me feel yucky. And so I don't even enjoy it anymore. And so I've cut that out. And while I'm still on social media, I'm not on TikTok. I was on TikTok at one point and I just realized how much time I was wasting just scrolling through and looking at videos. I mean, it's just not something that brings me joy. And so I've come off TikTok. I'm still on Facebook and Instagram, but I really watch how much time I'm on social media. So surround yourself with voices that uplift, encourage, and inspire you rather than make you doubt yourself. And the third thing that I would say would be a strategy to consider is practicing self-validation. Instead of seeking approval from others, ask yourself, what do I value? What makes me proud of myself today? Confidence doesn't come from external validation. It comes from recognizing your own worth and celebrating your unique path. By embracing these three shifts, you'll find yourself stepping into a more confident version of yourself, free from the weight of comparison. So that's all for today's episode of the Go Slow to Go Fast podcast. So I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing that's helping you feel more confident in your everyday? Let's keep the conversation going. Email me at coachingwithkendrachapman@gmail.com or check out my website, www.coachingwithkendrachapman.com, or send me a DM on Instagram. I'm at coachingwithkendrachapman. Tag me in your confidence journey. I'd love to see how you're stepping into your best self. Let's embrace this new season together with intention and confidence. If you've enjoyed this episode, I'd hope you consider sharing it with a friend or two who might need a little encouragement from the Go Slow to Go Fast podcast. And as always, stay connected and remember, take it slow, be intentional, and embrace the season you're in because the confidence in me honors the confidence in you. And as you head into the next week, let your light and self-worth shine through. Until next time, take care, keep leading with purpose, and remember, go slow to go fast. Thanks for listening.